All right, we are going live on YouTube. This is episode 87 of the On the Hunt podcast, our season 4 premiere. And man, first of all, 87 episodes in, I did not think that we would get to 87 episodes, but I am very thankful that we did. Of course, this whole thing started with a conversation between me and Nate Rugger, and then Nate brought to us the number one Lions fan you know,
Shut the
Mr.
fuck
Bobby
up.
Bless, the great value Brad Holmes. That's right. He is a. We also.
He did me dirty, didn't he? He did me
we,
dirty, boy.
we also, we also got Reggie.
Woo.
That was
Yeah, hey Elijah, just know I'm gonna get you back. It may not be today. It may not be. Hey, it may not be next episode, but it will be season 3.
Oh my God!
It will be season 3.
I have
It
never
will be
seen Nate laugh that hard.
because Nate ain't shit. Nate ain't shit. Nate ain't shit. Elijah ain't shit. It's just the ain't shit podcast. That's the shit we call it, the ain't shit podcast. That's it. Dirty dog. I'm gonna get you, man.
Man, you know it's good when he's disappearing in the logo.
Yeah, he ain't. Nate be pissing me off too. Nate pisses me off too. Y'all.
Oh man, it's all love here. It's all love.
Okay.
He had to walk away. He had to walk
Yeah,
away.
I gotta take a shot. Hey, time out. I gotta take a shot over that one. I got the half gallon.
All right, let's toss it over here to Bobby Bless. Bobby, how's it going, man?
First of all, middle fingers all around. Okay, let's get that off the way. And no, man, it's good to talk about football, man. And then I'm just tired of listening to these. But like me and Nate, we don't listen to these old mock drafts and stuff. We don't. We listen to how dumb they sound, or we give them a chance to maybe tell us something that we didn't know. But to swear like it's the Bible, that ain't how we do. So, no, just good. I know we would talk about the draft, and that's mostly what we're gonna talk about. Just, you know what I meant to say? All that damn. Why do you hate the Chicago Bears so much? Now, why do you hate them enough now, Elijah? That's what I'm at. That's the question now. Do you hate them enough? Because Ben Johnson, he went to the Bears, and my level of hate for the Bears, Ben Johnson don't even move the meter. He can just join the club. But I want to know, Elijah, just a real quick question. How much is your hate for the Bears?
I mean, does a lion ever care about the opinion of a gazelle? Because I sure don't.
Okay.
That's a great answer.
Like I'm just saying, like until they beat us, it ain't a rivalry. You could talk all the shit you want, but
that ain't the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sheer disrespect to go to the Bears stuff. That's just
I ain't worried about that. Go ahead, get your big old bag of money. Go ahead and work with a quarterback who thinks he knows more than you do, and watch the whole fucking thing implode.
But he taking shots at golf and shit too.
I'm telling you.
Well, I don't think so. I think people taking that out of context.
T-minus 3 years, that situation's going to implode.
Bro,
and Aaron Glenn is going to be the better of those two coaching candidates.
Ben Johnson going to want to come back.
Aaron Glenn did more with less.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Johnson has never had to do that.
No. You're right.
So, but like I said, T-minus 3 years, and I will say, maybe Nate would agree with me on the Goff stuff. He is going to talk better about Caleb Williams than he's going to talk about Goff.
No, that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like
Caleb
the sheer
Williams
disrespect.
Is his guy now, so he's got to build him up like that.
He said Penei Sewell throw a better pass than him.
That wasn't exactly his.
That ain't what I heard. I mean, that's what he said.
So you gotta think, man.
I didn't read this one. I looked and heard him talking this shit. Like, what the fuck?
So, like, he has to. I think people, if you know their relationship, Jared Goff has talked about it. Even Amon-Ra has talked about it, how they talk shit to each other. So we can't read into it as harsh.
Damn, man, you get on my nerves, man. That's great.
I'm just saying though, as healthy
This
as
is a great
Lions
point,
fans
man.
want to, we can't read into it as if he just hated Jared Goff and he hated it here. That's not the case. So anytime, man, that you arrive and your team is good, your coordinators are going to be sought after. And that's what it's going to be. So now you have to do what you have to do. You have to do the PR.
Right.
You can only speak so highly of your previous team for so
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
Otherwise they're gonna say, "Oh my God, we got the wrong guy," and why if he still loved them that much, why did he come here? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So we can't read into it as that. What you have to do is look at the interviews when he was here and listen to how the guys talk about Ben Johnson, his approach, how close they were when they were talking about games. When he, like an instance, when they put 70, almost 70 on the Jags, and he asked them, "How much did y'all put up last time?" He said, "Oh, I think it was like 38, 40." He was like, "Okay, let's do that again." They're like, "All right, bet." He's got the confidence in his guys. He knew what he had. We can't let the media take what we know and just throw it away like it never happened.
Right.
And again,
The Lions fans get a little salty because he left, but you wanted him to ascend.
Well, I just think how he left his last game is what really like make you fucked up.
But that wasn't our fault. That wasn't his fault. I mean, listen, we've seen that for when he lost against Buffalo. It happens. Ben Johnson has those games where you be like, "Oh, why didn't we just do this? Why didn't we just do that?"
Yeah.
So it's not like it was an enigmatic game.
Right.
We've seen it before. Now, what we didn't see is them lose 2 games in a row since he's been coordinator. Now, it sucks because we were the number 1 seed and we were 1 and done. Yeah, but I don't think him leaving had anything to do with that. Our defense could not stop Jaden Daniels. He was diming the shit out of our ass. We had 0 pass rush, and Ben Johnson was forced to be overly aggressive to keep pace.
Right.
All right. So before we get to the draft talk, let's go into free agency talk, because free agency for the most part, I mean, I think most people would tell you free agency for the most part is done. There still could be a couple of moves made, but for the most part, if you haven't done it by now, you're probably not going to do it. So let's take a look here. First of all, let's take a look at the players that we lost, because I think that's a shorter list and that's easier to kind of go through here. So people that we lost in free agency to other teams. We lost Carlton Davis to the Patriots. He went there on a 3-year, $60 million deal. I will say the funniest thing about that to me was that when he did his opening press conference, he was so used to the love that he gets in Detroit, from the reporters in Detroit, that when he walked into his New England presser and they didn't clap for him, he's like, "Wait, so there's no applause here?" It's like, yeah, ready for that sound.
So nobody know who that motherfucker is.
17 games. I said, because you're on a bad team now, so good luck. Let's see. Zadarius Smith got released.
I thought they should have kept him.
I think he's going to come back, but
if he come back, then I won't be mad.
Yeah,
you have to look at his age. He's about to be 33.
Kevin Zeitler, our guard.
Man, he was playing whack as fuck at the end of the year. Am I right, Nate? Wasn't he fucking up at the end of the year?
Bobby, I'm just reading the list, man. I'm not defending.
I just have this shit.
He came after me on that one.
Yeah, just making sure. He was fucking up.
How dare you defend him?
I just making sure I know. We all know he's a fuck up now. Because everybody, kind of underwhelmed about the free agency. I just want to make sure. Now, that motherfucker is a bum, and you can't be crying about nothing in the secondary if it ain't Brian Branch or Kirby. That to me. So,
listen.
Go ahead.
Everybody else on the show, whenever we argue, you can call it clapbacks, but when Bobby does it,
here you go, don't do it.
But when Bobby does it, you got to call it a write-up because he's a manager. So let's go. Let's see. All right. Moving on. Kevin Zeitler left to the Titans. Nate's falling off the screen. Melifonwu. Unfortunately, Melifonwu has gone somewhere else.
I think we could have kept him. I think we should have
That's
kept
the
him.
only one I'm mad about. Everybody else, I really don't give a shit about. Zeigler.
I
none
will
of them.
always remember his pick against the Vikings to win the division. So
I think
And
we
I
should
just
have
want
kept him.
everybody to know I was the one that had Melifonwu. I backed Melifonwu, and I knew Melifonwu had the talent to be very, very good in this defense.
Yeah.
I still think they should have re-signed him, but they didn't. But hey, whatever, he went on to Miami. He's going to be the starter down there because they lost Javon Holland. Again, I think, with Branch and Kirby, I know what the Lions feel, but I love the way Melifonwu could cover the tight end,
get to that quarterback too,
and cover a wide receiver. So, but
he was our best blitzer too.
Yes, he was.
Beside him and Branch, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Kendall Vildor.
Trash.
I'm not going to. Oh my God.
Trash.
And then defensive end Jonah Williams went to the Saints. So those are the guys that we lost in free agency. Here's what we did in free agency, and I say that without a lot of excitement in my voice.
Hey, I said it on my live on my birthday, like Elijah. I don't know.
Left a lot to be desired in my humble. But here's what we got. Here's what we got from the part. Listen, every once in a while, okay, like I'll tell y'all real quick. The other day I went to Walmart, all right, and I got out of the bargain bin. There was a 4-pack of John Singleton movies, and I was like, I like John Singleton's movies. Why not? It had, I think it was Higher Learning, Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, which I think is an underrated film.
Oh, that's dope.
And Baby Boy in it. And I was like,
them are all good movies.
I'm like,
yeah, they're all good movies.
You
just a baby boy.
But like, for $7, So every once in a while, you can go to the bargain bin and find some good stuff. And apparently that's where Brad Holmes likes to shop for Detroit Lions, because that's all he does is just try to find the best bargain available. And sometimes it can get real frustrating, especially when you're looking at it being like, we got money to spend, and instead of getting one marquee guy, I don't know.
Look at it. We have to look at it this way. Like, honestly, I know you can't take that money, but I look at what this defense did with the broken pieces, and I think that gave Brad Holmes enough confidence in what he was doing going forward to say, hey, I don't have to necessarily go out and make this greatest of splashes that people expect me to make. But not only that, you have to look at who he's got coming up for contracts. So we can't go ahead and just discount that, because our team is young, and the downside of a young team that's coming off of these rookie deals, you're going to have to pay them. But you're going to have to pick and choose who you can pay. And if I pay some of these guys, unless it was, I can get some shit, like I say, where they wanted to do the picks, whether it was with Myles Garrett, whether it was with Max Crosby, whatever, you're still going to have your own guys. Like, okay, we know you signed Jared Goff, you signed Penei Sewell, you did Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
So now, but you still got Kirby Joseph's coming up. Brian Branch is going to be coming up. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be coming up. Sam Laporta is going to be coming up. Jack Campbell's going to be coming up. So it's like, I can't put it. They just say Stephon Diggs went to the Patriots.
Yeah, that's what Brenda was just telling me.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs went for $70 million to the Pats, and Russell Westbrook, I think he went to the Pats too.
No, Russell Wilson.
Wilson, my bad.
He went to the Giants.
Yeah. Wilson went to the Giants. Stephon Diggs went to the Patriots.
Okay. So let me run through this list here real quick, guys, because I know, like, we want to keep some sort of our usual time. Let's see. So these are the guys that we signed. DJ Reed, cornerback DJ Reed from the
I like
Jets,
him. I
coming,
like
Love
him.
it.
coming to Detroit. 3
I
years,
like
50
him.
million. Linebacker Derek Barnes was already with us. He's going to stay with us. 3
I
years,
like
Love
him.
it.
5 million.
Told it.
I like him.
Defensive end Marcus Davenport, 1 year, $2.5 million.
I don't know.
$2 million.
Linebacker,
Yeah, you a deal.
linebacker Ezekiel Turner, a 1-year deal. Offensive lineman Dan Skipper, a 1-year deal. Defensive
Keep
tackle
it.
Roy Lopez, 1 year, $4.65
That's
million.
the Arizona dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, only thing he get hurt a lot, but he got some plays though.
Speaking of hurt a lot, Levi Enzarike, 1 year, $5.5
Ooh,
million.
Nate, don't let him come for your dude.
Love it.
Don't
I
let him
know
come
you
for your
gonna
dude
try.
like that, Nate.
Hey,
Don't let him
Levi
come for
played
your
through
guy
all.
like that.
Levi played through all that. He played longer than John Kaminsky last year.
Oh, boy.
Shit, he's Brad Holmes don't love him like he love Mosley ass. He still don't love him more than him. Shit.
I don't listen. It's something. Hey, Mosley got to be part of your family body. You got to tell us who he's banging, because Mosley got to be banging somebody to keep having. This motherfucker. Listen, we played more snaps than he did last year.
Mosley is either, with somebody in the family, knows where the bodies are hidden, or maybe he's a make-a-wish. I don't know.
Man,
listen,
Bill Murray on Space Jam got more clock than him. Period.
Listen, I might get my ass in trouble for saying this, but like the whole idea of our free agency period just being basically the NFL's Make-A-Wish program, I really don't like it. Okay,
That's cold-blooded.
I don't like it.
Bad.
But it's like that's how Brad Holmes finds his players. He's like,
right, and that's what I'm saying.
He's like, were you previously injured? Yes. Did they say they don't love you? They just kind of like you a little bit. All right.
Well, I love you. I love you.
We're gonna rehabilitate you. Like, no.
This is what I've learned. Brad gets the most out of the guys that want to prove their validity,
right,
and prove that they still got it.
Like Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick took a pay cut.
Yeah, so Tim Patrick's coming back 1 year, $2.5 million deal.
He blocking some of the you know what too on them
defense.
Defensive end Muhammad coming back on a 1 year deal. They signed from the Steelers Kyle Allen, a quarterback.
I don't know him. He coming for your boy's spot.
No, he's a candidate.
Yeah, he coming for your boy's spot.
Tight end Kenny Yoboa, I believe is how you say it. 1 year for the team Jets.
He's one blocking SOB boy.
Tight end Shane Zylstra, 1 year deal. Defensive tackle Miles Adams, a 1 year deal. Running back Craig Reynolds, a 1 year deal. Linebacker Grant Stewart from the Colts on a 1 year deal. We also got Pat O'Connor on a 1 year deal, defensive tackle.
He's decent.
Cornerback Khalil Dorsey's coming back on a 1 year deal.
I like that.
Cornerback from the 49ers, Rockin' Sin.
I like that.
1 year deal. And Avonte Maddox for the Eagles.
I definitely like that.
Yeah, he's from Detroit.
Coming here on a 1 year deal as well. So
he's from Detroit.
That's what we've done so far in free agency. So to recap, no Myles Garrett, no Trey Hendrickson, no anybody else like that. No AI Reggie White. Nothing. Okay.
That'd be dope.
That would be dope.
That'd be dope.
PPT, go get his ass.
Hell yeah.
But like I said, so that's what we did. That's who we lost. We have got the 28th overall pick in the first round of the draft, and this year we've got the 28th overall in the first round. We have the 60th overall in the second round, 102nd overall in the third round, 130th in the fourth round, 196th in the sixth round, 228th in the seventh round, and 244th in the seventh round. So that is what you're looking at as far as the Lions are concerned. They do finally have a pick in every round, at least at the moment, until they decide to, start trading stuff. So here's where I want to start the conversation, because I got 3 prospects for you. I've been thinking over the month break that we have had from doing this.
Okay, before you go on, because I got something to say real quick. Okay, we about to talk about the prospect. What do you think we need to draft first? Me, a corner, because we at 28, we will probably have good dibs on most of the meat of the corners. So I think corner is the biggest priority. What do you think? Not saying any of your prospects are going to be a corner or whatnot. I'm just throwing out my position of need would be corner first.
So I disagree with that. I think we drafted two corners. We're going to develop them. Granted, we did not have as much luck as the Eagles did with the two guys they drafted, pretty much by the end of the year being starters for their team. But I do believe in Rakestraw and I do believe in Arnold. Arnold was my guy anyway. If y'all remember from last year.
I do. I was surprised he dropped.
So I think we're good there. But what I'm gonna do, my three prospects are all at the same position.
Okay.
But as I was thinking about the draft coming up, I was thinking about how we need to set our expectations at a certain level here. You know, you are picking 28th overall.
Yeah, he in that trade spot.
Now, what that means is, to me, okay, this is just my opinion. That means you're not getting somebody who's going to come in and tear up the league right out the gate. You're not getting.
It's happened now. We're not going to say it.
I think you could get somebody that could develop into that, but I think at that 28th spot, you can either trade down. You certainly could trade up if there's somebody up there that you want.
Trade down.
But you could also, like I said, trade down, or you can pick somebody who maybe isn't Batman, but is Robin. You know what I mean? And you can develop him to be Red Hood at some point, or Nightwing. I'm using a lot of comic book references, but if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. My point is, you can draft somebody that is not a barn burner and develop them into one over
Facts.
time.
I agree.
That's where I look at one specific position, and it's a position that we did not address in free agency, and that
defensive end.
Defensive end.
Yeah.
Now, part of me was like, Elijah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, look at other prospects. But honestly,
I want to see what you got. I want to see if yours match mine.
But honestly, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's what we need. We need a defensive end. Now, I understand a lot of people tune into the show during draft season to hear me talk about the quarterbacks because that's usually what I do. But let me just very quickly tell you, I don't think we're drafting a quarterback in round one. You know, but I'll tell you what. Now, if you had the opportunity to go out there and get Shedeur Sanders, I'd be all for it. I'd say figure out a way to do it.
Man, look.
No.
Let me stop you right now. If that would happen, I would turn into a not Deion Sanders fan. He has a big ass mouth. I do not want to. I don't care if he preaching the right thing. He talked too damn much.
Well,
Detroit don't like that kind of. He talked too much, and then I can see Shedeur fucking up and still being arrogant and shit. No, please, Lord, though.
So
please don't.
Of those two guys, though, Cam Ward, Shedeur, right?
Shedeur good though.
Cam Ward to me stands there like a statue, and whatever sorry ass team he goes to, he's about to find out in a very bad way you can't do that in the NFL.
Oh, Hurricanes quarterback.
He is mobile. He is mobile, but he wasn't doing that much in Miami. And when my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets forced him to run for his life, he started fucking up and throwing it to us. So again, Cam Ward, I'm not gonna say he's a bust, but I think he needs to be in the right situation. Shedeur has played with no offensive line for his entire football career, and he's able to be successful at it. So to me, he's earned my respect because he knows how to handle that situation. But I don't
give him a little bit of
I don't think we get anywhere near him though. Will Jackson Dart out of Mississippi. I like Jackson Dart.
He's sweet. It's another kid too.
Caleb Milroe out of Alabama. I like him.
He can't throw. I don't like him.
I think with Milroe,
he can't throw, Elijah.
Well, here's the thing. With Milroe, I think again, right situation, he could be very good for a team. He was good for Alabama, but Alabama, remember, they didn't.
Except for when they played Michigan and they made him throw the ball.
He can't throw. I watched all the Alabama games. He can't throw.
But what I'm saying is, right situation, I think he could be a good one. But like I said, I don't see anybody that the Lions would even really want to even consider at the quarterback position.
Oh, definitely.
Based on what's out there. So for me, as I'm looking at what prospects to invest my time in,
Yeah.
I'm saying invest it in the defensive end spot. And as I look at all the different defensive ends, it's almost like Baskin Robbins. Like there's 32 different flavors. You've got, and I'm being serious. I think Nate will back me up on this. There are some of these pass rushers at defensive end this year who had amazing stats in college. And there's other guys in this draft class who didn't have amazing stats in college, but you have the whole argument of upside. And, yeah, maybe that guy might be a developmental player, but he's got all the God-given ability if you put him in the right spot. So that's where I put my time, was a mixture of guys who have done very well in college and guys who have got upside. So here's my three. And I'm going to try to be quick about this because I do want to get to Nate's opinion on these guys because he is our defensive coordinator. So
no video this time, huh?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can't because of YouTube. I don't want to get popped for copyright. But as we get closer to the draft, we'll try to work in some videos of these guys. But first up, and I'm going to go in order of least likely to the guy that I really want. Okay, so least likely at 28th. Mike Green out of Marshall. He is 6'4".
Yeah.
248 pounds.
I heard of him.
He had 17 sacks last season, 23 tackles for losses. The word on the street about him is very simple, okay? He played at Marshall. So they're trying to discredit what he did because he played at Marshall. Even though when he did play against top teams, I believe he ended up playing against, I think, Michigan or Notre Dame, one or the other. But when he played against them, he did really well. When he played against Ohio State, I'm pretty sure he did pretty well. But Mike Green out of Marshall, PFF. I know Reggie would pop in with this stat if he was with us right now.
Let me write this down, man, because I want to see these dudes now. I'll be right back.
I got you. Because Mike Green's on my list too. So.
But run grade for Mike Green is a 90.2. Pass rush grade for Mike Green out of Marshall is a 91.4. And again, he had 17 sacks, 23 tackles for loss last year. He's 6'4", 248 pounds. Again, the knock on him is that he played at Marshall, and Marshall isn't considered to be a powerhouse school, even though they do have a rich tradition in college football. I will say that. And the fact that when he was a freshman, he was asked to leave Virginia after his freshman season. And a lot of people don't really understand what that's about. So they're trying to raise that behavior flag that they like to do with certain people. So Mike Green out of Marshall, like I said, I'd be very happy if he ends up being the name that we call at pick 28. Moving on here, Jack Sawyer, I almost said offensive state. That's not what it is. Ohio State. Ohio State, number 33. I've seen a lot of mock drafts.
Hey, Nate, he's not on your list, is he?
No, he's
terrible. Okay, go ahead, Elijah.
He's terrible as a fucking
Go ahead, Elijah. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know on that list.
But Jack Sawyer, 6'5", 260. Of course, he had the pick 6 in the college football playoffs. That's what everybody remembers him for. Run grade for him is an 82.5. Pass rush grade for him is an 89.5. He had 9 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. And again, he obviously played at, the Ohio State University. So that is Jack Sawyer. Again, that's a name I expect a lot of people to know. But he is another one that a lot of people have talked about. I don't think he's the best defensive end even on that team, but he is somebody that would be around in that 28 pick area. Now, last guy, and this is the guy that I like. This is the one that I like. After watching the film of him, I think he is a player who, even though he didn't have a lot of stats, he affected the play a lot. He got them to, if they were trying to run it to the right, he would put his nose in there and make them have to run it to the left. So like I said, he didn't get a lot of stats, but I think he's got a lot of potential. And I think if you put him on a line with Aiden Hutchinson, the guy could end up being very, very dominant. His name, Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M.
That's my guy.
6'5", 208. He's your guy. Is that what you said? See, he's been doing this too long. But Shamar
No,
Stewart,
hey, but see, it's a damn shame how he did that Ohio State kid. But keep going though.
but
That dude terrible, boy.
Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, he's sweet, Nate. But whatever. Go ahead.
But Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M. Where's number 4 at Texas A&M? If you're trying to watch the different highlights of him.
Yeah, I'm about to look it up now.
6'5", 281 pounds. Last season, he only had 1.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, but he had 39 quarterback pressures. Like I said, he affects the play. Run grade for him is 88.2. Pass rush grade, though, because of the lack of sacks, 67.2. He ran a 4.6 40-yard dash at the combine. He had a 40-inch vertical at the combine, and he is just 21 years old. I think if you get Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M and you put him next to Aiden Hutchinson, that is going to be a fun combination to watch for years to come. And here's the other reason, before I toss this over to you guys, the other reason why I think we go defensive end is not just because we need it, but also because you have a first-time defensive coordinator. And Dan Campbell knows what it's like to be set up for success by the coach above him, because Sean Payton did that for him. Bill Parcells did that for him. So to think that, Dan Campbell's going to look over here at our new defensive coordinator and say, yeah, buddy, we're not going to do anything to help you in your first year as defensive coordinator. To me, that would be outrageous. I think they're going to try to give our new defensive coordinator all the tools in the kit to be successful, because, again, that's just the type of guy Dan Campbell is. So I think Brad Holmes with that 28th pick goes defensive end. Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. That's the one that I think we're going to try to get. Let me toss it over here to Nate Rucker. Nate, I gave you 3 guys. I know you don't like one of them.
What was the first kid name?
Mike Green.
So to recap, Mike Green out of Marshall.
Okay.
Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State University.
No.
See, I already knew that.
And Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. Bobby. Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. So Nate.
No. But he's not. No, Shamar Stewart's from Mississippi State, not Texas A&M.
He's from Texas A&M.
Was y'all thinking about the right guy?
Yeah.
Is he? Oh, you know what? You're right. It's the colors. It's the colors.
Yeah.
Texas A&M and Mississippi State have the same colors.
Oh yeah, they do.
Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M, number 4. Again, didn't have a lot of stats, but man, he affected the play.
You're not even worried about the sacks about him. You're not even worried about the sacks with him.
But let me toss it over to Nate here. Nate, out of those, what do you think?
Okay, so first, before I get to those 3, I'm going to give you the 6 guys that I had before. So this is pre-combine. Pre-combine. Number 1, Abdul Carter out of Penn State. Number 2, Michael Williams out of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Number 3,
he a dog. He a dog.
Number 3, Jacob Walker out of Georgia. Number 4 is James Pierce from Tennessee. Number 5, I had Shamar Stewart, and number 6 was Mike Green. So when you're looking at this, Mike Green did a lot at the combine with his one-on-one drills, especially bowling over one of the top tackles in this draft. That instantly made people say, okay, who is this kid?
Right.
But the downside of Mike Green is that comes from Marshall, 17.5 sacks. And the player that comes to mind is James Houston.
Okay.
So you know what James Houston did for 1 year with us. Second year, didn't do anything. He left us, went to Cleveland. He was released. So you're looking at that 17.5, and you're looking at talking about who you played against, who you had those splashes, blah, blah, blah. Mike Green's potential, same thing with James Houston, is higher. except for James Houston, didn't have any pass rush moves except the dip. That's all he had, which is why he never panned out. Mike Green has speed, he has a length, he has a dip move, and then he also has a hump move. And if anybody knows what the hump move is, the hump move was made famous by Reggie White, where he rushes up, he starts with a bull rush, gets the guy off his feet, and he chucks him with his offhand.
Didn't he throw Chris Carter into Warren Moon like that?
Yes, yes, he did. Yeah, so that's the famous hump move. Now,
that's crazy.
when I look at Mike Green, I see Brian Burns.
Okay.
Because Bobby,
Yeah,
if you
that's your boy.
remember,
That's your boy.
Brian
spin.
Burns
Had that spin, right?
right, but
spin.
coming out. But remember, Brian Burns was on your radar.
Right. Florida State.
Yes.
And
But people, they looked down on him because he only weighed 240, 245 coming out.
Yeah, he had a spin move like dude, like
yeah.
Quarterback couldn't even get his spin move was so tough. I don't even think the quarterback could get to his finish his drop before he used to be back there.
Right, but they looked at his lack of weight, and because he didn't do a lot on his bench press as a downside. Mm-hmm. As we've seen, Brian Burns has proved all that wrong.
Right.
The underwear Olympics ain't shit to certain players.
Right.
When I look at Shemar Stewart, he reminds me of a couple of guys. I see a mix. I can see Robert Porcher, a Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Lions.
Yeah,
I can see Jason Pierre-Paul in his prime before the fireworks injury. Like, it's a mix of Montez Sweat. There's a lot to go with Shemar Stewart.
Yeah.
That I really like. Jack Sawyer, your biggest games of the year. Fuck everything else. Your biggest rivalry is against Michigan. When you look at what Aiden Hutchinson did,
you think playing in the championship is bigger than fucking playing Michigan?
No,
that's what you're saying?
No.
Playing Michigan bigger than the damn championship.
Yes, because do you know why? Think about it.
Because y'all never beat them and y'all done beat them a couple years.
No, not even that. It's not even about beating them. The biggest games of your year are your rivalry games in college.
That's true. I agree.
So think about it. Michigan versus Ohio State.
Pre-tournament, though.
But hold on. Think about it.
Though, Nate.
I get that. But think about this. Think about this. The Michigan and Ohio State rivalry games are watched more than any national championship game.
That's because people over here, they crazy as fuck, dude.
So, but what I'm saying is, Aiden Hutchinson against Ohio State in 3 years had 7 sacks.
He a dog.
So think about it. Hold on. 7 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, and 13 quarterback hits.
I already know, man.
So,
you can't be comparing
listen.
to Aiden.
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, if we're going to spend a top-notch pick, I'm going to look at Jack Sawyer and what only because we're talking about a first-round pick, regardless if it's 28 or 32. I'm not going to put you in the first round if you did not produce. Jack Sawyer has 1 sack against Michigan.
Right.
1 in 3 years.
Y'all don't throw the ball. Y'all right.
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. And ran the ball. He had 1 sack. Last year, he only had 2 total. He only had 2 total tackles. He has less than 10 total tackles in 3 games against Michigan. I'm not talking about quarterback hits. I'm talking about Bobby. I'm talking total tackles.
I know what you mean. I just think you're putting too much weight on that damn Michigan game. That's why.
No, listen. But it's a method to the madness.
Okay, I'm gonna hear you.
Because when you look at Michigan, Michigan has had the top offensive line in the NFL in college for how many years?
A lot.
They've won the Outland Trophy. They've had the nation's best offensive line. Out of the last 10 years, they've had it 6 years. So you're going up against elite tackles and guards.
Right.
I don't care what you do against Notre Dame. I don't care what you do against Minnesota. You're going against
Wait a minute, you don't care who what they do against the team Ohio State played in the championship either?
But listen, I does, but go ahead, Eli. What you about to say?
Because, Bobby, what Nate is getting at is Michigan's offensive line is an NFL offensive line.
I agree.
So when you're going up against an NFL offensive line and you ain't doing shit and your whole goal is to be in the NFL, well, that's going to look kind of bad on what you have to offer an NFL roster. Whereas at Notre Dame and against the other teams they played in the football playoffs,
besides Joe Alt,
like that. Hey, how many games did Michigan lose this year?
And guess what? They lost 3, 4.
Because I'm trying to see where this line is.
I get that. Hey, look, Michigan lost 4 games this year, and Jack Sawyer had 2 total tackles. And now he had 0 quarterback hits on a quarterback that couldn't run.
Okay.
He had 0 tackles for loss, 0 quarterback hits.
Hey, so, I already know Michigan is good in the trenches. I ain't knocking that. I just
no, but that's the only reason why I'm saying it is because he's on Eli's list. I'm just saying, me personally,
the Mountain ain't Michigan. The Mountain ain't Michigan. Sawyer, that's what I just want you to know.
I know you don't. It's okay. It's okay.
The Mountain ain't
Michigan. Brad, it's okay. It's okay, Brad. I'm just trying to convince you from not making this pick. So, but he was a converted linebacker. Jack Sawyer went to Ohio State as a linebacker.
Yeah.
And now you want to take a linebacker and put him as a pass rusher because he's not going to be a pure defensive end.
Right.
He's going to be a rush end if we stick with this 3-4.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if you look at him as a linebacker, is he in the class of a Jack Campbell as a linebacker?
No, he's not.
So that's number one. So we can't say you good even as a linebacker. So now we look at you as a defensive end. Were you even a top defensive end on your team?
No.
It's Ohio State, though. Ohio State had a $22 million team.
But we're talking about the defensive end position.
Right. He's just because you're not the best anything on Ohio State don't mean much because they done paid for all their teams.
But listen, when you are getting 90% of the snaps on that side, it ain't like you're getting subbed out. You're the captain.
And on top of that, to go to Nate's point, okay? So if you've got an A and B defensive end situation where one guy is clearly the A, right?
Right.
And Ohio State has that guy, but that guy is going to be gone before we even have a chance to say, and the Lions are on the clock. That's why Abdul Carter was not on my list, because he's going to be gone long before 28. But when you have an A and a B, okay, teams are not going to run at the A. Okay?
Same thing with corners.
But remember now, Abdul Carter is not from Ohio State. Remember, he's from Penn State.
No, I know. What I was saying was, as a prospect, that's why he wasn't on my list, because he's going to be gone long before then.
Yeah,
but at Ohio State, you have A, you got B. If they know that you are really, really good, they're not going to run your way. They're not going to try to throw it your way. Nothing. So Jack Sawyer had everything coming his way, and
he couldn't do shit.
He did. I think that's Nate's point, is all he could do is what he did.
In 3 games.
He doesn't have the size and the upside of a Shamar Stewart, who, even though, yes, he had a lot of opportunities to get stats and he didn't get stats. Shamar, though, he's got God-given ability. And we have a coaching staff that can get the most out of him. I think that's Nate's point.
Well, not only that, also, when I look at your when you setting the edge, Donovan Edwards' stock dropped dramatically last year. But guess what? His biggest games came against Ohio State, and they were running off the right side, right where Jack Sawyer was. And I've watched this. Donovan Edwards had 5 touchdowns in 3 games and over 600 yards against Ohio State. His whole college resume, even though it was good, but his big games is what got him to where he's going to be in the draft, because he totally destroyed Ohio State. He totally destroyed Alabama. He ran directly at Jack Sawyer's side, and he could not get off a block. He could not shed. They ran right by his ass. He was washed down the line. So when I look at that, and we're talking about taking a guy at the 28th pick into that first round, Jack Sawyer should be nowhere up there. It has nothing to do with Ohio State. It's just the fact that dude didn't produce in the biggest games. And if you can't get up for your rivalry game, you're not going to get up for the NFL.
Two other quick points about Shemar Stewart, because out of all the guys I mentioned, that is the one if you take anything from this episode,
we can do Shemar.
I want you guys to take away, and I'm talking to Nate, Bobby, but also everybody in our
comments. I know about Shemar.
So I'm saying, if you take anything I'm saying to heart tonight, it is Shemar Stewart, okay? I really like this kid. I think this would be a good, solid pick for us at 28 if he's there. And there has been some, conversation about him being higher than that, but the 4.6 40 kind of dropped him back down a little bit. So again, 28th overall, I think that's a hell of a value. But 2 other things. Number 1, and I realize this has really nothing to do with on the field, but the kid does so well in media situations. And I brought this up with Terrion Arnold last year, because Terrion Arnold had a game at Alabama where he was getting his ass chewed out. And after the game, they asked him about it, and his answer could not have been any more perfect. And I said that was one of the things that sold me on him, was not just his ability on the field, but his ability to take hard coaching and the ability to know how to deal with the media. Shemar Stewart went on NBC, at the Combine, and he was talking with 2 of their, talking heads over there at NBC, and he literally knocked it out of the park with every question they asked him. He is very well spoken, and I think that there's not enough value placed on that, especially when everything a player does now is subject to the media scrutiny.
It is. It is.
So to me, I think that's a big deal. I also think, and maybe this is not as big of a deal, Dan Campbell is an Aggie. He went to Texas A&M, and this is the first time in the span that Campbell has been head coach of the Lions where he's actually had an opportunity and a reason to draft somebody from his alma mater. Now, I'm not saying that's why they're going to do it. I'm just saying that's another reason. Hey, I get a player at a position of need from my school, and we get to pair him up with Aiden Hutchinson.
So, and one of the biggest things that, as I went through everything about Jack Campbell, Shemar Stewart has positional value. Like, Shemar can play defensive end and defensive tackle, where you can run stunts with him because of his size and speed. You can put him and Aiden on the same side, and you can loop him outside, run Aiden inside, vice versa. You could do the same thing. But Shemar's deficiency has got to do with the coaching. Like their pass rush plan at Texas A&M was trash. Their positional, the way when I say a school did a lot of kids a big disservice with their coaching, it was Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know is that Shemar Stewart was a 5-star. coming out of South Florida. He was a 5-star DN. So with all that potential, with everything, the size, the speed, the smarts, like the length, and he only was able to produce 4.5 sacks, it's because, like, listen, if this is our number one guy, we have to find ways to get him matchup efficient.
Mhm.
And that was one of the biggest things about Texas A&M. They didn't move him enough. If I got a piss poor left tackle, I'm going to put Shamar on the left.
Right.
I'm not going to keep him on the right, where he's going to get double teamed regardless. Or the better tackle is on the right side. So I'm going to keep Shamar on the right so that we can neutralize this right side so they just run everything left. That was dumb as fuck.
Yeah, you're supposed to overwhelm that booty ass left tackle.
Right.
That's what you're
So,
supposed to do.
sorry, you two. I keep dropping too many F-bombs. But I just thought about that.
Hey, watch your fucking mouth, okay? Come on now.
My bad, you two. But that was one of the downsides. So they didn't create mismatches for him at all. Hey, you're our best guy. You're going to take on their best guy, and you're going to be forced to neutralize him so that our other guys can succeed, which was the craziest thing I've ever seen game plan wise. You see what I'm saying? If I got Aiden Hutchinson and I got a choice between lining him up against Graham Glasgow and Penei Sewell, who am I going to take?
Right.
I'm going to put Aiden against Graham Glasgow 10 times out of 10.
Right.
Not putting him on Penei 10 times out of 10. Oh my God, this is going to be a great matchup. No, dude, this isn't the UFC. This is about winning.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
No,
Shamar suffered from that horribly. So you think about it, even with all those pressures, you're still 1 second off from getting a sack. 30 pressures is a lot. That's an enormous 39. So think about this. Aiden Hutchinson went out in what game? 6?
Sixth game of the season, yeah.
Aiden was up 20 pressures to the next guy.
Right.
And at the end of the year, Aiden still finished top 10 in quarterback pressures.
And that's kind of where I was going with it, Bobby, is like, you know, to go back to what I said at the beginning of all this, you know, when you're at 28, you're not necessarily thinking you're going to get a Batman. You're thinking you're going to get a Robin. We've got Batman. Batman is Aiden Hutchinson, you know. If Shamar can bare minimum be Robin, we're going to be all right. If Shamar
needs the right coaching.
If he gets the right coaching,
that's all you need.
He might turn into Superman, and then you got the Justice League. Look out. So, like I said, to me, it's all about picking somebody. And again, I'm not the biggest on the whole upside thing, just because we hear that all the time. Players got upside. But I think really what it boils down to is everybody can have upside, but if you don't have the right coaching and right scheme, it don't matter. And so I think we have the right scheme, the right coaching, the right environment. And like I said, I think to go anywhere else with the 28th overall pick.
Right. Unless Shamar is gone, you take it. So I want to read one thing.
Yeah.
And this is from a guy named Keith Sanchez. And this is what he wrote about Shamar Stewart. Overall, Stewart is a rare athlete with an exceptional combination of size and athleticism. With proper coaching and development, he has the potential to transform into a premier pass rusher at the NFL level. His physical tools provide a solid foundation. His ceiling is among the highest players entering into the draft. Day position prospect. It says day 2 adequate starter, which leads to the Robin aspect of Eli's prospect. That's all we're saying. You don't need 2 Batman. But if you can get Nightwing was the shit. We know a grown ass Robin was a bad something. Right. So with that being said, not saying he's going to be there, but I did the same thing. My prospect watch, like that's why I went through that list. It's all defensive ends in one corner, which I'm not even worried about the corner right now, but it's all defensive ends and pass rushers because that's what we need the most. You've got to get something
And I will
opposite side.
say, if we didn't get Sin and Maddox, then I probably would have
Then
been
I would have said that corner. I
at
did.
corner.
I
But
did. I had two other corners, but it's
the
no need
only
now.
the only two guys that would make me say defensive end can wait. The only and neither one of them are going to be there. But the only two guys that would make me okay with it,
I think they will.
but these two guys I'm talking about though, what I'm saying is outside of Shamar, these two players who don't play defensive end,
Oh
if Ashton Genty is there, you take him.
no.
And if Shador is there, you take him. He would have to have an Aaron Rodgers like collapse.
Well, again, like those two. Number one for the Lions. Yeah, you could take Shador, but you have to deal with Dion and his rant. And every time you're going to turn around, you're going to have to hear Dion talking about how his son is much better than Jared Goff, and then you get into the aspect of the team morale and the infighting. That's something that you don't need. Shador wouldn't fit here.
Right.
The culture,
he's probably going
the
to the
co-
Giants.
yeah, the culture of the Lions, even if he was the fall, is too strong for Shador because you get here, yeah, you cool, but guess what? You're gonna have to shut the fuck up.
Right. But
I don't
Genty,
care what your daddy say. I don't
But-
care what your daddy did.
but a
He
running
doesn't
back,
run this.
but a running back depth chart that has Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, and Ashton Genty, Jared Goff. You know how last season,
But here's the thing.
but you know how
Where
last season we said Jared Goff, the sweet spot is we don't want you throwing the ball more than 25 times, right? If
But
you
think about it,
somehow
yeah.
got Genty, man, the
But-
sweet spot
no.
is now 10 throws a game, Jared. Don't even worry.
Yeah, but you make yourself even easier. Like to me, you're doing yourself a disservice.
No, I get it.
Because who are you going to take the reps from? You taking them from Jameer?
Right. No, I get that. I get that. I'm just
You
saying.
taking them from Demo, who you just signed a contract with, who the city loves. They have embodied this Sonic and Knuckles thing. Like to me, when you're talking about, and I get it, you're up in Messina, but when you're talking about the city of Detroit and what this city means, and what, like when you look at the Red Wings just had a brawl last week. The city of Detroit is hard working, we rough, we tough. Like this is what we do. And when the city embraces you, you roll with it. And so the Jared Goff chance and him feeling accepted, even though I don't think Genty falls nowhere outside the top 10, because of what Jameer Gibbs has done, because of what Bijan Robinson has done, and they have brought back the value of the running back, Genty's not going to see nowhere outside the 10. And Mike Genty may be top 5.
Yeah. He's a good one.
He's a damn good one.
I was saying to Donnie Despa, who's a Broncos fan.
I know.
And so I was telling him, I said, man, your Broncos should, if he's anywhere near them, y'all should go get him to put behind Bo Nix. I said, because Genty could be the running back y'all have been missing because they had no running game last year. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But when you're done, toss it to Bobby because I want to make sure Bobby gets in here.
I know. No, that was it. Bobby, have at it, big dog.
I'm all ears though because I haven't really I've looked at combine stuff, but ever since I don't know, I think it was Reggie put in the chat. We ain't gonna be doing too much with a 15-2 team. Is that Reggie put that in the chat one day? So it kind of helped me think about we don't really need much. So are we at the point where we draft the best available because I know we need that tight end. But my thing about the pass rusher. My thing about the pass rusher, man, I've been calling for pass rushers for a long time, especially in the draft. I don't got no more. I don't have.
Me and Bobby
have not though. Like we got
we both.
Seasons in it.
We both have.
Man,
we
when
only
we gonna
got
get
it once.
Aiden some help? I didn't say that years ago. I'm done. I can't cry no more. I got no more tears.
So I'm gonna give you a mindset. So since me and Bobby, we started into. So ours is real truth. We were in true Detroit, like whatever.
Dude threw us out. He threw us out.
Yeah, dude threw us out because me and Bobby was going back and forth between Kareem Hunt and Joe Mixon.
Yeah, Mixon.
And they threw both of us out, and that's how we started our group. And Eli, you joined us, and then we became a family. But we looked at this. We've seen defensive ends come into this league that have been spectacular. Like
Brian Burns.
Brian Burns. We looked at Malcolm. One. We talked about Malcolm Brown.
Not Malcolm Brown. Derek Brown.
Derek Brown. We talked about Micah Parsons. We took Jeff Okudah. Ed Oliver. Like the Jeff Okudah one just blew my mind. I'm like, this thing was trash.
That's the dumbest pick ever.
That was trash. Yeah, but Brian Burns, Derek Brown.
And he's from Ohio State, too. I didn't want him then. I didn't care.
I told you.
Ohio State.
I
didn't care Ohio State. No. I didn't think he was good.
Yeah, and so we've been clamoring for a pass rusher actually since Ezekiel Elliott and Willie Young. That's the last time outside of
Grandpa Ezekiel.
That we've had
we call it
premier pass rusher. At least two. Because remember, we had Cliff Averill, we had Willie Young, we had James Jones.
Hey, what's that guy we sent to Tampa Bay? Was that George Johnson or something like that?
George Johnson.
Yeah, he was a good ass defense.
But remember, he was good because you had Ndamukong Suh in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And instead of taking Aaron Donald, shout out to Jim Bob Cooter. People don't want to give Cooter his respect. Jim Bob Cooter said,
I always give Cooter its respect.
Hey, listen, as an offensive coordinator, there's no way in the hell I want to come up with a game plan to block Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh.
Get him.
Like, shout out to Jim Bob Cooter, breaking in people's houses, sleeping on their couch ass naked. We got you.
But again, as far as Shemar Stewart is concerned, like I was saying at the beginning, I didn't want to necessarily put all my eggs in one positional basket.
Got you.
Because every year I try to give variety whenever I'm talking about the draft, and that's usually why the last couple of years I've been right, because I don't get so pigeonholed into one thing. But this year I'm trusting that the reason why we didn't go out and get some big free agent signing is because Brad Holmes is going to build through the draft, which is what he's always talked about doing. He's going to save that money for the guys that are currently here that he wants to extend, and he's going to finally get Aiden Hutchinson some help. Now, if he doesn't, I have a feeling that Aiden Hutchinson's going to request a meeting with Brad Holmes and say, "Excuse me, sir, why are you not giving me help?" And I think Nate just read what I put in the Zoom chat. Nate over here running The Bachelor. He about to hand out a rose.
Oh, yeah, Nate. I ain't want to.
No, listen.
Nate, see, here's the thing, okay? Me and Bobby, we horizontal, okay? We horizontal.
Oh, God.
Nate showed up in vertical form today, all right? He's wearing all black, okay? He's out.
Hey, but guess what? You read the shirt, you hear what it says.
Off-white.
So listen, I got a story real quick.
Okay.
So this is
I gotta get ready to go in a little bit too. So
this is gonna be real quick.
I ain't got don't got no shotgun.
So the shirt says Off-White. So you got this dark-skinned 6'3" guy wearing an Off-White t-shirt. It just says Off-White. It is a brand. So I go out to go eat, me and a couple of my homeboys, and this guy comes up and I see him staring at me. And I'm like, what the fuck is you looking at? And so people that know me know I'll pop off real quick. And I'm looking at him, and he just kept saying, I said, my man, is there a problem? He said, no, man, I'm just trying to read your shirt. I'm like,
He just disappeared.
I'm like, okay, all right, what about it? He was like, man, I work for Tiger Stadium. And he said, I work for the Detroit Tigers. And he was like, I couldn't imagine walking in to Comerica Park wearing a shirt that says Off-White, knowing what my owners are. I was like, so what? He said, man, you're ballsy. I said, what? I said, you know what, sir? Go drink a mimosa. It's like, right? I was like, dog. And I get it. It's a brand, but it's so crazy that in this era, in 2025, that we still deal with the same BS and people are so mind bogged. Like, it's like, dog, just go on with your day. Like, it's not, don't read more into it than what needs to be. I promise you, this is not a Black Panther t-shirt. This ain't a Nat Turner tattoo on my back. It's okay.
I didn't even get that from what you were saying. I'm over here confused because I don't look at I don't.
No, I know what Nate's saying. He is not making no big.
I'm with you now. I'm with you now. But I was like,
he's not making no big ass statement, no political
statement. And I'm just like, right, it's not a political statement. Right, but I can say, because I say again, YouTube, we love y'all. So I just want to make sure, like, listen, that's not the case. But it was just funny, and I was just like, he threw me off, and I was just looking at him like, oh, come sit down. I'm drinking.
Right. I get that. So, like I said, Nate running an On the Hunt version of The Bachelor. So let's go ahead and look at
anyway, read the other comment that I put down.
All right. So we have got comedian Shay B says, hey family, welcome back, fellas. Thank you. We appreciate it. She says, was it known why they didn't re-sign him? I think she was talking
about Za'Darius. She's talking about Za'Darius.
I'm not sure. I honestly feel like they should have. But
I think it was because he was 30. I think it's because he's 33 years old.
And he might not wanted to come back though either. You know?
No, he did. But he know his value. And so if I can get Marcus Davenport back on 1 year and spend $4 or $5 million less, I'll take it.
Okay. So now the most important question that he's gonna leave as I ask this one.
I'm not. I hear you. I'm right here. I'm getting my charger.
He done disappeared. All right.
I'm right here. I'm getting my charger.
Tiffany Smith would like to know. This is an important one. Okay. Nate, are you single?
Wait, what? Get out of here.
You're the one that said to read the comments. This is for you.
But I don't think I've been looking at this thing. Oh my God.
That's why I said you got people thirsting in these comment sections.
Lord Jesus Christ.
Nate.
Thirst trap show there.
Nate.
We're not playing. This is not The Bachelor.
Don't dodge the question.
This is for On the Hunt. The Detroit Lions not on the hunt for Nate.
She's on the hunt for you.
She definitely on the hunt
for you.
Hey, listen, I definitely
on the hunt is a key phrase.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Hey, you better take this to the DMs. Do not put her down in front of me and Bobby. Don't do that.
No, I'm not. Hey, listen, thank you. I am flattered. But let's keep this thing, sports related. Thank you.
Damn, Russell Wilson. God damn.
She is talking about a sport. She wants you to run a marathon.
Oh my God, Eli, where do you come from?
Hey, don't get him before me. I'm first.
Listen. I'm just
you get in line, Nate. He been cracking the good one.
I'm just over here 31 and dangerous. That's all. 31 and dangerous. I'm just saying. Jason Frick. Lions trading back, getting 2 second-round picks, taking Gray Zabel, Landon Jackson, T. Robinson.
He's going offense.
Why Landon Jackson?
Because he's a guard. Well, he's going offensive line. That's where Frick is going. He's looking at replacements for
Zach Zeiler. right?
But not even Zagler. I mean, what was Zagler? The other guy's got that one. He's talking about replacing Glasgow and Ragnow, who potentially may retire next year.
Yeah.
So Frick is looking to offensive line. Those are all offensive line guys.
And I don't blame him for that. I don't blame him.
I don't
No,
either. I don't either.
no.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Glasgow had a pretty down year last year.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay.
Good shit, Frick.
I always mess this one up.
Four Horsemen.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I knew it. I knew where you was going. Go ahead.
That's my guy Wilson, man.
all right. So
That's my guy Wilson.
the Horseman says, "What up, my peoples? Hello, how's it going?" Even though we reloaded at corner, I'd still pass on a DN for Will Johnson if he fell, which is a slight
He's not
possibility since he hasn't participated in the combine, or I don't even think he's on a pro day.
He ain't got nothing to show, huh, Nate? He ain't got nothing to show. Huh?
Listen, Will Johnson is the number one corner in college football. Guess what? You can look at the tape. I don't care about underwear Olympics. I don't have to do all that. Y'all got 4 years of film. I've got more touchdown pick. I'm sorry. I have more
that's
pick
Arian.
sixes.
Adrian, my bad, Adrian.
Yeah. I have more pick sixes than I do touchdowns given up. Look at the tape. You don't have questions about my speed. You can look at my speed in high school. Will Johnson ran track. He had a sub 10.9 in 100 meters.
Yeah, he got Olympic speed.
You see what I'm saying? What's understood don't need to be talked about. I don't have to go to the Underworld Olympics. There is not one corner in this draft that compares to Will Johnson. I wouldn't do nothing either.
And
this ain't like Tease Tabor.
Hey now.
No, T. Tabor was dope though in college.
Yeah, but he was slow as shit. He ran a 4.7.
Hey, he had everything but speed. That's the only thing.
Exactly. But Will Johnson does. So ain't even no need. Listen, I don't need to do shit.
We're at 8:12 here, Bobby. I want to go to you for closing remarks, my friend.
Man, it was just fun to get to talk to my brothers about the team, man. I've been trying to stay out of these comment sections because this is the time of year you make enemies. No, they hate you for.
Hey, you know. Hey, listen.
Hey, let me tell you something, Elijah. If I know cats, if we don't get along now, they will never agree with anything I say about the Lions after that.
Right.
I swear. So I've been since I've been doing the podcast stuff, I've been trying to stay out of these comment sections because some of these comments I be just want to put dumb under for real. So
y'all know I don't care. I talk about that Lions podcast.
Hey
crap.
man,
I say y'all dumb as whatever. Y'all shit is trash.
Yeah.
No, but it was good to talk about the Lions. And just short, real quick. Remember the two dudes got into it at the combine, the two reporters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That lets you know these dudes they just be writing stuff just to be the first to it or stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
that's
like
normal.
Now, like you know, us starting beef on Facebook and stuff with that stuff. These reporters the same way. So next time you cut somebody out, Nate, just say don't make me pull a what's that on your ass and let you on your play. Feel me?
You have more problems with people than I do. They
because I used to
learn to leave me alone.
I used to be too critical, and they used to call me fake.
I'll call them stupid boys in a minute.
But you can't call a guy with over 200 hats a fake fan and other stuff. So they be so mad that I'm not a fake fan, and with the negative take on the team, they used listen, dude.
Well, I mean, Bobby, as Uncle Ben said in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
I had a dude in boxing.
Listen, Bobby, you're a manager now. All you gotta do when they put a stupid take out there, you call them in the office and you write that out.
Listen.
You write that out.
Hey, Nate had a dude so mad he started looking at all the Nate pictures with Jordans and calling them fake.
Oh my God! Listen.
Look, dude, it get weird, man. I'm done with the beef.
Hey, listen, Eli, this dude went through my Facebook It
He
was
said,
telling
them
me,
Jordans fake, them Jordans fake.
yeah, he was
Oh my
like, I got
God.
fake shoes and all. I was like, nigga, what?
Man,
I
we was talking
mean,
about the
my bad. I
Lions.
was like, God, what are you talking about?
We was talking
I
about
just
the
started
Lions.
laughing.
And then he started getting on the dude's shoes, like, oh my God, man.
Yeah,
These dudes are
but
too
but
fake,
it's so funny. I had a dude inbox me and was like, I really like y'all show, but how can y'all have that fake ass fan up there with y'all? And I was like,
Who are you talking about?
he was talking about Bobby.
Oh, that's just stupid. But like I
man.
said,
Them
hey,
dudes hate me,
I,
man.
I
Some of
will,
these
I
dudes
will,
hate me, man.
I will pay. Listen here, and I'm being dead serious when I say this. I will pay good money using Nate's wallet to get Bobby a jersey that says "Write that ass up," because I think that would be fucking hilarious. Like
Using
Bobby,
my money
eh,
is wild.
instead, listen, I'm the most generous person I know with other people's money. I'm just saying. But anyway, uh, get Bobby a jersey, and on the back of it says "Write that ass up," and I bet you he'd wear it. He'd
Yeah,
wear
we're gonna go to the office after this. Yeah, go ahead.
it.
You make a great point.
I'm just saying.
We're gonna go to the office after this, man.
It's like what my dad used to joke around and say, you know, because my dad's a pastor. My dad used to say jokingly, he never actually did it during a service, but he was like, during the time where you give the money during the church service,
Because that's
The offering time.
offering, yeah. Shows you that I probably need to go back to church. But anyway,
yeah.
he used to say, okay, reach into your neighbor's pocket and give like you
Ooh.
always wanted to.
Oh
So
yeah.
like I said, I'm the most generous person I know with other people's money.
Not reaching to your neighbor's
Yeah,
pocket.
reach into
Come
your neighbor's
on.
pocket and give like you've always wanted to. It was
Listen, I'm from Detroit. Do you know what would have happened
you're gonna
had
write that ass
somebody
up,
listened
aren't
to
you?
that?
You're gonna
Get
write
your
that ass
hand out
up.
my pocket. Get your hand out my pocket.
Unless,
They be having switchblades in church like this.
watch out. Yeah. I don't know why I did the Lightning McQueen sound. Watch out.
Oh yeah, I did.
Anyway. All right. Well, Nate, your closing remarks, man.
Oh man, again, man, it's just good to be back. For all our loyal fans, all our loyal followers, man. Again, life happens. Life is life for everybody, but we want to thank y'all, man, for continually to be there. As soon as we went on live, we seen comedian Shay B, our guy Fort
Tried
Lawrence.
and true. Tried and true.
Yeah,
It's
like,
tried
hey,
and true.
listen, y'all don't miss a beat. So we want to thank y'all, man. I think, we all in agreement. We definitely want to get back to our prize giveaways and things of that nature, man, so that you guys, man, we can continue to show our appreciation for all your support, man. So thank you for continually rocking with us. Regardless how many weeks we may take off, y'all still chime in, man. And on Facebook, y'all asking when we gonna go on live, what's going on. Like, wait a minute, is y'all done? So again, we thank y'all. Also, hey, if y'all see any of our segment on a so-called another group's page of topics, just tag On the Hunt, man. We know we know we got informants that be watching our channel, which is wild as shit, and y'all just never say, "Hey, this is a shout out to the On the Hunt guys," because somehow it never fails.
Shamar Stewart about to be mocked to the lions all next
Listen,
week.
Yeah.
listen, Shamar and Shadu, it's gonna happen. So listen,
Jack
if
Sawyer
y'all
gonna
see it,
play
Jack
good in big
Sawyer,
games, all that stuff
right,
gonna be on there.
right. So if y'all see it, man, Jack Sawyer's performance, all this type of shit, just tag us, man. Just
They
tag,
gonna
just put,
get y'all.
hashtag On the Hunt, man. We really love y'all. We really appreciate y'all. Thank you for keeping us, man. We're gonna continue to do what we do. Eli.
All right. So serious part first, then two funny things, because why not? All right. So serious part. Be good to yourself, be good to others. I always say that. That's super important. Be good to yourself, be good to others in that order. Remember, every day is an opportunity to make your life a little bit better and the lives of those you love. When I was doing my radio show earlier, I believe we all have like 280 something opportunities left this year to make our lives as good as we possibly can and make the lives of those we love just a little bit better. So get out there and do it. It doesn't always got to be something huge. Get in the door for somebody that you don't know. That's a big deal. Instead of going through self-checkout, maybe go and have a human experience in another checkout line, with an actual human being, when somebody asks you how you doing, maybe be honest with them. I know that's scary. Everybody just like to keep it moving, but maybe be honest. And when you ask, expect people to be honest with you, Again, just a little bit of kindness out there. I think that goes a long way. Two funny things. Number one, this week I challenge you to be as bold as Tiffany was in this comment section tonight. Okay.
Man.
Bold.
Oh my God. Like, I don't even
shot.
know.
You only live
like
once.
like the Rock and Sam Jackson, man.
That's
Listen.
right.
Man.
Aim for the bushes.
Hey, that is a first. Listen,
All right. And last
I didn't even see it, but that is definitely a first.
You know what? I'm gonna screenshot it before it go away.
Yeah, right. Somebody better. But like I said, I want y'all to be as bold as Tiffany was in this comment section tonight. Okay, live with courage. And finally, y'all, until we talk again next week. Okay, until we talk again.
Wow.
Next week.
You ain't shit.
Until we talk again next week, do me a favor. You better be on your best behavior because management's watching, handing out write-ups all week long. That's right. For the number one Lions fan Mr. Bobby Bless. For Nate Rucker, for Reggie Funches, I'm Elijah.